Call the meeting to order. We've got lots of people here, lots of things to do, so welcome everybody. Mr. Moore, would you like to say something before we start?
Yes, sir, I would. Sit down in 2 seconds. How you doing? Good morning, everyone. We understand, first off, let me say thank you for everyone coming out this morning. Just kind of Robert's Rules of Order, and I love being able to say that because my name's Robert. But this morning we're going to start off with the PPIC meeting, then we will go into the joint meeting, and then we will have the EDA meeting. We would like to remain diligent and be efficient at the same time and be mindful of everyone's time. So the agendas, while light, we will certainly allow you to ask questions, and we will answer as best we can, but we would like to keep the meetings going forward. But other than that, if you don't mind, Chair, I will call roll. Mr. Barham?
Here.
Ms. Cherry?
Here.
Mr. Peterman?
Here.
Mr. Reineberg?
Here.
Mr. Toops?
Here.
Mr. Wallace?
Here.
Mr. Weaver? You have a quorum.
Y'all received the minutes from the last meeting, and I call your attention to them. If there are any corrections, additions, otherwise I'd ask for someone to make a motion.
I so motion.
Second.
All right. Mr. Barham?
Yes.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes.
Mr. Reineberg?
Yes.
Mr. Toops?
Yes.
And Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, you also had in your package sent to you the financials for August, and
Good morning, everyone.
Due to the time limit, we're just going to go over very summary about the PPIC for the month of August. As of August 31st, the total asset were $1,005,642, and for the income statement, the only activity for the month of August were interest income in the amount of $2,071, and we did add additional schedule showing the interest earning by the month.
thank you for that.
I'm happy to answer any question you may have.
So I'd just like to add, to highlight, our change to Atlantic Union in the last 2 months has resulted in us earning $4,138.48. So that's a positive
Very
change for us.
positive
This is
improvement.
money that we did not earn at all before?
We earned nothing before, correct? So we're actually earning money on our money.
All right,
We were earning about $80 a month.
fantastic.
Has been a significant improvement. Thank you for that. And we'll file that for audit. So, all right, moving on to old business. Vice Chairman Peterman, I know it changed some, but if you want to give an update.
This is the update on Southgate, the Norfolk Naval Shipyard property. Commander Taylor and Admiral Rock, I talked to both of them in the last week, and they're having a decisional meeting on Thursday of this week. And since that's so close to this meeting and everything that they were going to present was pre-decisional, Admiral Rock said, unless you seriously object, I would like to have them brief at your next meeting, vice this meeting. And what they've really decided is the Southgate properties there, they're going at the larger segment. I mean, again, this is a pre-decisional thing. When we saw the three options, small, medium, and large, they're going with the large. And they said that you need to really pay attention to the joint land use study because these two efforts are kind of coming together with time. And I think we have city representation on that as well. And so we need to make sure that they and we continue to talk. And Robert, I think you're probably the common pin in those two meetings, correct?
Yes.
So if nobody objects, that's, we'll schedule Commander Taylor at next week's meeting. And the other good thing is anything you can get something on a routine schedule. This is going to be briefed once a month to Admiral Rock, as a, instead of just as required meetings, it's going to be, once a month to Admiral Rock. So we should start to see real progress on this in the very near future. But as the Admiral said, this is a 3-year process. So don't think you're going to get something to happen today, tomorrow, or next day. And when I asked the question, is there something we can do to support the shipyard in a intermediate time, after we decide that, yes, the parking lots are their number one concern and we'd like to provide them parking, they said, we'll do that. That'll be part of the joint land use study portion of this, but because this has to be a kind of an end process that the government signs on to and we don't, so there won't be any little intermediate steps like I talked about last time. It'll be a final step, and the rest of it will be just kind of handshake deals. So,
But your suggestion is that to put them on the agenda for October?
yes.
Okay. Any questions for Vice Chairman?
Ronald, I'm a new commissioner. I don't know about the other folks, but could you give me just a high-level overview of the Southgate issue?
Southgate is about 18 acres of property that is, it's not surplus, it's,
2 minutes.
We're actually going to talk about that at the joint meeting.
Okay, so great question. Let's hold it and we'll discuss it. Absolutely appropriate for you to hear about it. So,
it's not surplus, it's underutilized. I mean, there's a big difference between those two words.
it's a great opportunity for us.
Okay.
So, all right, Mr. Moore, Manufacturing Day?
Yes, sir. October 4th, as we discussed at our last meeting, October 4th is Manufacturing Day. That is a Friday. That is also the Friday of our next Let's Talk Business segment and forum. That day, we will have a panel discussion with a number of manufacturers there to kind of answer questions and talk about what manufacturing means to them as a business, what it can mean for us as a locality, as well as for the future of manufacturing as far as jobs are concerned. It is on the calendar this morning because we were previously set to do a resolution, or not a resolution, but a proclamation by council on the first council meeting, which would have been Tuesday the 9th, I believe. However, or 8th. However, council has canceled that meeting because they have prior engagements. So the proclamation will be done at the second council meeting, which will be the 22nd of October. So we'd like for certainly some representatives from PPIC to be there, but we want to let you know about the change in the council meeting.
So October 22nd?
Yes, that is also the date of you all's next PPIC meeting, so kind of works out.
Okay, thank you for that. New business, there's nothing under that.
No.
And is there any need for a closed meeting?
Yes.
Okay. I do not have, okay.
I don't have anything on.
Oh, well, can you read that? We'll let him do this.
Okay. I move to go into closed meeting pursuant to Virginia Code subsection 2-2, Tech 3711A.6, for the purpose of discussing or considering the investment of public funds where competition or bargaining is involved, where, if made public initially, the financial interests of the government unit would be adversely affected, specifically regarding the Port Host Communities Revitalization Fund. I hereby move that each board member certify to the best of his knowledge that, do I?
No, that's the first motion.
Okay.
That gets us into it.
Okay.
Getting ahead of yourself. That's all right.
Okay.
Mr. Barron?
Do this at the end.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes.
Mr. Reineberg?
Yes.
Mr. Toots?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
We are in closed session. So, all right, Mr. Barron?
Yes.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes.
Mr. Reineberg?
Yes.
Mr. Toots?
Yes.
And Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
We are in open session. And then I need now a motion.
So I'd like to make a motion that the PPIC submit One Wild Duck Lane as our project for this year's state grant, state court grant.
Is there a second?
A second then.
Mr. Barron?
Yes.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Mr. Peterman?
Yes.
Mr. Reineberg?
Yes.
Mr. Toots?
Yes.
Mr. Wallace?
Yes.
All right, motion carries, so staff will submit One Wild Duck Lane as the application for the Port Host Communities Grant.
There it is.
Right.
Or if you want to give it to me, I can.
Other than that, we have no more. Unless you all do.
Unless there's any, do we have a representative of the report?
Chris is here.
We
Do we want to do that in joint?
We can do that in joint.
Okay, we do that in joint. Typically, we have the representative for the port give us an update on what's going on, but since everybody's here, let's do that at the joint meeting. So if there's no further news, I adjourn our meeting.